Welcome to Martinez Art Lab. We're going to make a new project in Google Drawings with a new file. We'll title that file with your full name, and we are going to make a conversation hearts piece. So we'll title it Conversation Hearts, and to get started, we're going to the Shape tool, and we are going to choose a heart shape. And I will draw one heart the way I like it in the size and the shape. And then I'm going to copy and paste that heart. I'm going to do that 8 times. So I have a total of 9 hearts. You can use the keyboard shortcuts on your keyboard. So Control C and Control V. Or you can use File or Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. At some point, you're going to change the colors of the hearts as well. That's up to you when you do that. So I'm also using the red Google guidelines to make sure I'm creating this grid-like look of my hearts or with my hearts. So I'm using Google Drawings to help me achieve that. Those guidelines that pull open both the red guidelines and the blue guidelines that will pop open. Also, I'm losing my voice, so sorry about that. But as you see, I'm laying this out, and you can just kind of fine tune it and tweak it as you need to get your hearts balanced and in the space that you want. Everyone's will be a little different because everyone's heart sizes will be slightly different. Once you have that, we're going to add a background to our conversation hearts. So once you've got everything placed exactly where you want them and tweaked well, then we'll go ahead and go in and add that background. In my case, I'm going to add a gradient background just to be able to show you how to create a gradient and create a custom gradient. So when I go in to add my background, I'll get started by choosing a rectangle, drawing that rectangle right on top of my hearts. And then I'm going to go into my color choices. And I'm going to choose just any gradient to get started. And then I've taken away the black outline as well. And when I go to that gradient, I'm going to choose that plus sign under custom. And then I'm going to add gradient stops and then alter them, backtracked a little, but once I start adding those gradient stops, then I can go in and change the colors to whatever I'd like to. In my case, I'm going to create kind of a rainbow effect with my background, pastel rainbow to go with my conversation hearts. So I've added 5 gradient stops and I'm moving them to where I'd like them. And you'll see I kind of experiment with the colors I'm using, but I'm also kind of experimenting and just clicking and dragging my gradient stops to different spots to create the exact gradient. Once I have the gradient I'd like, I'll go ahead and click OK, and that gradient will be what I am using for my background. After my gradient is chosen, I need to send that layer to the back. So I'll go to Arrange, Order, Send to Back. Now my hearts are back on the top layer, and now I can go in and fine tune all of the colors I'd like to see in my conversation hearts. So I'll go up to that paint bucket and change each heart to the color I'd like to see. Now, once I have my heart colors changed and I like what I'm seeing, I like what I'm working with, now is when I'm going to start adding the conversation part of my hearts. In the case of this example, I'm going to add in positive affirmations. So I'm going to go up to Insert and Text Box and insert a text box in my first heart. And I'm going to add in these positive affirmations of what I'd like to see. Right now, I'm just going to type them in. I'm going to copy and paste each text box, and I'm going to put in the new type, and again, in this case, positive affirmations that I'd like to see in each heart. So I'll place those, center those in each heart, and then I will get started working with the different styles and sizes of the typography in the conversation hearts. All right, once I've got all of these positive affirmations written. So keep growing, you've got this, you belong, all of my different positive affirmations. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to select all my text. So I'm going to use my select arrow, upper left corner, drag to select everything. I'm going to center all of my text. Once all of my text is centered, and because it's all selected, I'm going to pick the style of typography I'd like, change the size that I'd like, and if I'd wanted to, I could change each heart and each style to something different. In my examples case, I'm going to keep all the type the same, all the sizes the same. When it's correct and it's where I want it to be, I'll go ahead and move everything to balance it out individually by each heart. Once that's done, we've got our final piece. Now you're going to see me experimenting with the color, changing the background gradient. I'm changing the heart colors. I'm also starting to add some gradients into the hearts. It gives it a little more depth and dimension, in my opinion. So again, you're changing the colors to your personal taste and how you'd like them to look. At this point, this is the, I saved it, I downloaded it as a JPEG. So this is the first example I made. And now I'm going to download the second color scheme that I made so you can see both examples next to each other and the differences that a different color scheme can make when you're working with the same project. Have fun working on this project. Make really cool conversation hearts. Use positive affirmations if you'd like, or think of another way to get your conversations on there. Have fun.